What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, we are here live. It is Sunday, a beautiful day. So this video is called Google Andrew Yang is a Bad Idea, right? Check this out. I'm sure you guys have, if you Yang Gang, you've heard the expression, you've heard the phrase, Google Andrew Yang. It's a campaign, right? It's everywhere. Today I'm gonna tell you guys why that's a horrible idea. Purpose of me doing what I'm gonna do leading up to where we're gonna go is to remind you that if you want Andrew Yang to be president, you're going to have to do something about it. So Google Andrew Yang, like I said, it's a campaign. It's obviously to create awareness behind somebody who doesn't have high name recognition compared to everybody else in the race. We're talking Joe Biden, former vice president. We know who Joe Biden is. Kamala Harris, she's pretty popular. I mean, she's not doing well, but she's got the name recognition. Warren, Sanders, all these people we've heard before. But Andrew Yang is not a politician. We've never really heard of him until the last couple of years. So somebody will post a question and somebody will say, Google it or something like that. Well, I learned a long time ago that that's a horrible way to get people to actually do things. It's funny, like I'll go on my Instagram and like literally my Instagram, I have my phone number and my business information, everything on there. And people will contact me and they will ask me a question that is answered right there in the profile information. People don't read, okay? And asking people to read or do anything other than pretty much exist, especially these days, is like pulling teeth. We don't want to be telling people to Google Andrew Yang because you're asking someone to do something. Your objective is to make finding out about Andrew Yang as seamless and as easy as possible. First thing, we have no control over what people see when they Google Andrew Yang. Today is a good day. Right now, we got Andrew Yang. He's getting a little bit of attention in the news and different articles being written, both positive and negative, as opposed to being completely excluded. So, you know, they did a little thing on SNL. They talked about it, so that's up there. We got Andrew Yang, the Asian math guy, trying to be next president. So it doesn't sound terrible. This is actually like a pretty good day. However, other days have not been so great. What if you tell somebody to Google Andrew Yang and it's the day that somebody says that he fired them because they were married? We don't want that. That's not good. The thing I love about Andrew Yang is the way that he thinks, right? And in my own journey and doing and creating content and talking to people and realizing that people really just don't want to go the extra mile or even anywhere near close to it. I started to realize that, wait a minute, there's entire businesses that are based on this idea of people not actually doing anything. And one of the biggest culprits of this is the fitness industry. I just want to read you guys a couple of these things on here. I'm not going to go through this whole article. The first thing here is that gyms have built their business model around people not showing up. Now, I cannot find the number, but I believe the number, don't quote me on this. I believe the number is that they expect 76% of their paying members to not show up. They know you're not coming. They don't really want you to come, which is what this article goes in here. And then they said, and this article is beautiful because they start talking about how gyms attract people who they know won't come. They have like lounge area and then they got free tanning. And why do they have those things? It's supposed to be a fitness facility. It's because they're trying to make it more than that because they know you're not coming anyway, but they still want you to sign up because they need your monthly membership. Your monthly membership subsidizes the membership for the people who actually go. By the way, we're still talking about Andrew Yang. For example, a cigarette company, they would say like, oh man, people are smart enough to know that you shouldn't do that, or they should know you shouldn't smoke cigarettes, whatever. But knowing they're investing this huge amount of money into their marketing department, and they're trying to get you to do something, a highly addictive behavior, like that's their goal. They'll put a couple of dollars into the little warnings or telling you, hey, you shouldn't do this. But the reality is they know through marketing, not like that's why they do marketing, that they can get you to do things you don't necessarily want to do. Like that's how this whole thing works, okay? This whole thing works by getting you to do things that they tell you also that you shouldn't do. Financial industry does the same thing. I'm talking about Andrew Yang, trust me. This is the foundation. I got to get you in so you can understand why when you tell people to Google Andrew Yang, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're pretty much guaranteeing that they're not going to do that. Second thing, this kind of goes along with what we've been talking about lately with the financial literacy and the prior video about the VAT tax and all these things about incentivizing specific behavior. Richard Thaler, I believe is his name. He won the Nobel Prize in 2017 for his work in behavioral economics, okay? Which is basically the study of how people actually use money as opposed to what we say. He has a book called Nudge, okay? And Nudge opens with an illustrative example of a woman who experiments with the layout of food in cafeterias to help kids make healthy food choices. For example, placing carrots rather than French fries at eye level. I'm pretty sure Andrew Yang has read this book, because the way he lays out certain things in a way where it's more, or it's easier, like the VAT tax punishes people who spend frivolously, there's probably a reason why.
We're trying to use the tools of what's come to be called behavioral economics to do two things. First of all, to help people make better decisions. And then second, that's kind of our ambitious goal, is to improve decision making. And then we have our wildly ambitious goal, which is to develop a way of thinking that is neither left nor right, but helps create a new idea that might decrease the polarization in our society.
Like, it's easy for me to say, oh, of course people will spend their money wisely. But this is why you keep hearing me say, I don't believe people will. It's because I know that that's not truly what people's behavior is. However, if you nudge them into doing the behavior you want them to do, then perhaps you'll be able to find some success in doing so. I'm saying all of this because if you're trying to get somebody to Google Andrew Yang, you gotta nudge them. You can't just send back some comment when somebody asks you a question, and do not respond back. Just Google it. Find the answer. If you know the answer, answer the question. You cannot expect them to go out of their way to do something. You want them to go out of their way to register as a Democrat if they're not, or if they're not already registered. You want them to go down to the polls and actually vote. Like, you're asking them to do a lot. And you gonna ask them to Google Andrew Yang? Come on, man. So it is called the rule of 7, okay? The key is that it takes people becoming familiar with a brand's message 7 times before they're willing to slide the credit card or put cash on it. And that is what I'm asking you to do, okay? I'm asking you to help us crush the rule of 7. This is what today's video is about. I'm gonna ask you guys to give Andrew 5, and I'm gonna leave the next 2 up to him. How about that? That's all I'm gonna ask for you guys, okay? The first thing I'm gonna ask you guys to do is post Andrew Yang memes. Not policies, not some type of invasive advertisement, just casual stuff. Completely innocuous, and somebody sees it, whatever, they just see his face, that's all. Maybe they just see his face. Cool. But yeah, just post this anytime. And maybe provide a little context, but don't get crazy. Like I said, we're not trying to be pushy salespeople. That's not what I'm asking you to do. The second thing is wear Andrew Yang merch, or get a bumper sticker, or get a button, or get a yard sign, something. If you spend $10 on the sign and you send the campaign $2, that's a win. People have to know the name. They have to see the name. They have to be able to put the name with the face. You see what I did right there? We put the name with the face. Drive for Uber, put that Yang bumper sticker in there. Whatever, put it in the back of your car. Throw it up somewhere. My math hat, people love the math hat. Oh, that's a cool hat. I know, Yang 2020. Flip it over on them, you know what I mean? See? Well, it's official. It's official. You can do that. It's a talking point. Oh yeah, make America think harder. Oh, what's that mean? Oh yeah, well, this guy's running for president. He's got some interesting ideas. Third thing, if somebody has a question, send them to a video. We know that Andrew Yang performs better in long form video. If there's a specific question that he has a great answer on from the town hall or whatever, find that specific part and send it to him. Like I said, we're not trying to ask people to do a lot. We're trying to make it very low impact. Maybe we're just trying to make them think. We're not trying to turn somebody into an Andrew Yang supporter overnight. So the fourth thing, text bank, table, canvas. This is extra, man. This is a lot. This is real commitment. But like I said, if you really want Andrew Yang to be president, we're gonna need some participation. Like, you can text bank in probably 15 minutes. You get 1,000 texts that all go out at the same time, and you get responses back. You send out 1,000, you get back probably, let's say, 10 responses. Then you answer a couple questions, and that's it. That's another touch for somebody. Canvassing, that's actually going out, putting up signs. That's great. We would love for you to do that, but that's asking a lot. The next thing, of course, is to donate to the campaign. Right now, Yang is in the middle of trying to raise $1.5 million by the 30th of this month. And he's going to have additional targets that he's going to need to hit. Running a campaign is obviously incredibly expensive. He's trying to get media attention. He's doing whatever he can to increase his name recognition. Considering he's a relative unknown, it's going to be pretty expensive. This is why Andrew Yang needs to be president, because once that happens and we have democracy dollars, every American citizen will be given money that they can use to donate to political campaigns exclusively, so that our elected officials won't have to worry about asking for money from individuals, and they won't be able to be bought off, because at that point they'll be working directly for their constituents. So maybe look at it as an investment in the future. You donate to this campaign and you never have to donate to another campaign ever. And the final thing, whatever it is that people put on their pictures where you have your candidate, like, that would be helpful. You know what I mean? Again, name recognition. Just trying to get people to see the name more frequently. Point where maybe they just say, man, I've seen that name a lot lately, and they ask you who is that. So maybe that gets them on their journey. Because everybody who I've spoken to says it took them a minute to arrive at Andrew Yang. When I discovered Andrew Yang, I didn't even know he was running for president. I was literally looking for quotes about automation, and I happened to come across one of his interviews or something, and I, from there, realized he was running for president. I wasn't looking for anything about politics or anything. I'm looking specifically about automation. You're speaking to somebody, they're talking about their prescription drugs or something that you know Andrew Yang has a policy for that you think might benefit them. You just want to start them down that rabbit hole, because it takes people a minute to arrive at Yang Gang. So that's why I said this is about the rule of 7. I'm not asking for 7 from you, I'm asking for 5. Andrew will get us the rest of the way. That's what this video is about, man. Google Andrew Yang is a great marketing plan, but it's not a great suggestion. I've mentored people, I've answered questions, I've spoken to people. People contact me every single day. They don't act on the one time we had a conversation. It takes a lot. Sometimes they have to feel guilty, sometimes they have to feel like they've been burned, sometimes they have to, you know, just be tired of hearing about it, or sometimes they have to hear about the success. You know what I mean? Maybe when people hear that Andrew Yang is polling 22%, then they'll be interested. A lot of times people just are like, people think if they don't feel like he has a chance of winning, then they're not really intrigued. So hearing about those small successes that he's having or been having, that helps too. So, you know, be clever about this. I became a filmmaker because I knew I had to put a beautiful picture and some music and an image together in order to get somebody to receive a message. And that's what I'm asking you guys to do. I'm asking you to think outside the box and understand that if you just tell somebody to do something, that don't work. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next one.